1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi.
So after quite a long break, I'm back. I'm going to show you guys the rest of the time we spent in Spain. At this point, we are still in Ronda, and I'm doing a little bit of night photography with my Pentax 6.7, shooting 400 T-Max. Basically just walking around these amazing, like beautiful old streets, trying to find interesting things to photograph. So I shot most of these at around f8, f11 with a 4 or 5 second exposure. The streets were pretty well lit, so I felt like I could average out, kind of feel it out. I'm still pretty new to night photography. I'm not exactly sure the best way to meter for these situations, but I'm pretty happy with how the images turned out.
Okay, it's got to be fireworks.
So we kept on hearing gunshots, and it did spook us out a little bit. I'm sure they were just farmers hunting at night, but nevertheless we decided to cut it short and just head back to the B&B. In the morning we headed out to Centenar de las Bodegas, a town famous for its whitewashed houses tucked directly beneath the cliffs. The light was perfect, the streets were still quiet, and I managed to capture a few moments of everyday life before the crowds arrived. Most of the towns in this region were once fortresses, each with its own incredible vantage point. But this one felt almost unreal, like something pulled straight out of a film. It actually reminded me of the opening town from Castle in the Sky. After shooting around a bit, we ended up staying for lunch too, sharing a meat paella that was a local specialty.
On the road again.
We were on our way towards another town called Olvera, and along the way there were all of these abandoned buildings, and it always makes me want to just like get out and go photograph them, but they were all covered in, you know, security fences and on private land. They're just so alluring. I don't know what it is about, you know, abandoned buildings and exploration. Maybe I just need to cut it down on all the Grainy Days videos. Anyway, getting closer to Olvera and the views were not too bad. Now, it was getting a bit late in the day, so we beelined it straight towards the main plaza. I did manage to take some photos along the way. This town was filled with cream-colored streets, and we were so lucky with how empty it was. Definitely a Kodak Gold dreamland. A large church dominates this town, with the main street leading straight up towards it. Unfortunately, it was closed, but right beside it was the castle. And I gotta say, I was taken completely by surprise, because right next to the entrance of this castle was the most beautiful cemetery. I think if you are ever in Andalusia, then this is definitely a must-see. The views here were just insane.
We bought 2 tickets for the castle, €2 each, not too bad. And now we're inside. This.
Going up these incredibly narrow stairs into this somewhat cramped castle, I finally could take a breath and I loaded some more film. I'd used up all of my black and white and was going pretty hard on the Gold 200. And boy, did it deliver, soaking up all of those warm tones. And it was up again an incredibly narrow spiral staircase. I could hardly fit my cameras through it. I probably should lay off the churros because it was a squeeze. But once out, these views, well, were pretty incredible. I can definitely see why they wanted to build a castle here. You could practically see the entire region. I like these. They're a bit postcard, especially this one with the church and the landscape, but you know, it's nice. I especially like this one with the tower kind of jutting out, although it is a bit noisy. I maybe needed a little bit more separation, I'm not sure. So that was Olvera. The day was pretty much spent. We took one last walk in the evening around Ronda, trying to really soak as much of it in as possible, and of course finishing off the rolls of Kodak Gold 200. God forbid I bring back any unscathed.
This is our last trip up to town, and we're going a different way today than we have before to see what is new. And we've got about 40 minutes till it's dark, so hopefully we can finish the roll. We're at that weird point where this is my last roll of the trip, and I think I've taken about 25, so not bad, not bad. Yeah, I've got 3 shots left, so I've got to make them count. Don't think we've been here.
They're mostly just snaps, but I do like this one. I think the warm greens are really nice, and the cream walls, that goes together really well. And that was our time in Spain. The next morning we made our way back to Malaga, got on a plane back to the big grey. I did have some trouble at Malaga airport because they rudely denied any form of hand check for my film, so I did end up having to put all of my rolls through the X-ray, and yes, they were unfortunately damaged. Some of my night shots had the wavy scan lines on them, with others having noticeable haze. But you know, these are the lessons we learn as film photographers. All in all, Spain was great. Experiencing the different cities and towns with all its rich history, the food, the people, except for the airport staff, were all great. If you got this far, thank you so much for watching. I know it's been a while since I uploaded. I've been just super busy. Good news is I do have an entire trip from Japan that I need to now make videos for, so look forward to those. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.